Yes, I'm glad that you actually promoted that whole internship. I'm sorry, rotation, residency rotation. You're right to be able to learn under supervision with a trained professional who can guide you the proper way, show the proper respect, maintain the functionality. That's key. That's absolutely key. And I do want to even just ask you a few little things because our audience may not know. So the Vagil Angelo, my apologies, I'm mispronouncing that. How is that different? You're saying less downtime, not extensive of a surgery, and the patient, I'm assuming, will recover much quicker. But beyond the fewer, the shorter downtime and whatnot, how does it enhance functionality or pleasure for women versus the traditional way?
Very good question. So we do both of them. We do vaginoplasties and we do labioplasties and we do Vagil Angelo, which is Vagil Angelo is my own technique. So in vaginoplasty, what you do, you repair the entire pelvic floor, you tighten the vagina from inside and outside, and of course it's something that you need to go under anesthesia, you need to probably be in the OR for like an hour, hour and a half, after that in recovery for hour, hour and a half, and then a little pain, but for 6 weeks you can't have sex, and you had a major surgery. And of course, it's price-wise, not to say any prices, but it's going to be around 10,000 or more. So Vagil Angelo, I created it initially. I'm going to tell you what's the technique behind it. For my on-the-go patients in New York City. These are people who would come and they were thinking these are the days that laser vaginal rejuvenation was big. And they're like, you know what, we did the laser, but it doesn't do that much for us. But we don't want to do a vaginoplasty, full-on vaginoplasty. So this is a lunchtime procedure. You literally come at your lunchtime. We numb the bottom part of the vagina. We make a specific incision. We do specific sutures that I created. And we fix the angle of the vagina like that. So that's one thing. And we also inject the G-zone. And G-zone, don't mistake this for O-shot. People talk about O-shot all the time. G-zone is the entire clitoral complex and the areas that are sensitive. We inject it with PRP and sometimes exosome and sometimes the stem cells, depending on who the patient is and what they want and how much they want to spend. But you want to make the clitoris as sensitive as possible. You want to fix the angle. I'm going to tell you why. And that's basically the basics of Vagil Angelo. And so much faster, 20, 30 minutes. It's in and out. You can come to the office. You decide about it. I want to do it today. Sure, let's do it. Just draw your blood, prepare everything, and we do it right away. And the other thing about it is that it's not as costly. Depending on where we are doing it, of course, different offices, different cities are different, but it runs around like something between $3,500 to like $5,000. So it's a lot less than the other procedure. Now, let's talk about the importance of the angle, because if you don't remember anything about this, remember this. It's all about the angle. So the angle is very important. And let me get some props to show you. Hold on for 1 second. I have paper. Can I get the paper? Perfect. I have a pen. Let's do this. You're going to be helping me on this one.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Let's create. This is going to be a very nice. Can I tear these things?
Yes,
it's fine.
absolutely.
Anything I want to do. Okay, perfect. Good. So let's say this is the clitoral hood you have here. Okay. So this is the opening of the vagina. You have your labia minora on the side. You have the clitoral hood. So we're just drawing this. So you have all of these, and let's try to just open the opening. I usually use the scissors, but I think we can do it this way. That's fine. No need to. And I don't have my scalpel with me, of course, so that's okay. Okay, perfect. That should be good. Okay. You know, I instead of asking for scissors, I'm doing it like this. Just reminded me of the nonprofit work that we did, and we are doing at International Obstetricians and Gynecologists. So after the earthquake in Haiti, we went to Haiti, and I established a company, the nonprofit, and we were with a lot of doctors. And you know what? It was so sad because so many people died in that earthquake. A whole medical school went down. So the next generation of nurses and medical students, they all died. We didn't have too many people to help us. And we didn't have too much supply. So I remember we were using like the same stitch, same suture for 3-4 patients. We would just put it in alcohol and just cut it. And somebody asked themselves, what if they get AIDS, or what if they get sick? And reality was that back then, the question is like, do you want them to die of, bleeding or an amputated leg, or, you were scared of AIDS? So it was a very tough call, but unfortunately, that's what we had to do. So, yeah, sometimes when I use my hand to cut these things, I know how to improvise. So let's create a vagina here together. So this is the mistake most people make. They think the vagina is just like a tube. They just have sex there, straight goes in. It's not like that. So, okay, so this is what we have here, right? The entry. You have the vaginal canal. I'm going to show it from the side. So this is the front, right? And you enter from here. So we're going to show it from the side so you kind of see how it is. And I think we have a camera here, so that's going to maybe show it a little bit better to have the side. So if you can just hold this and hold this one, perfect, like this. So this is the entry. This is the clitoral hood right on top of here, right? So the clitoris is really sitting like this. I mean, it's going to be inside, but this is the tip that you see is right here. So what happens when the penis enters, the vagina is not straight like this, right? It's not flat. The vagina has a downward angle. So it's really like this, right? And show it from the side so they see, people on the other side, they can see as well. So it has a downward angle. So when we are entering with the penis, and this is very important, look, the clitoris is sitting right on top of here, right? Right on top of here, with the glance of it coming out, but it's downward. So when you are entering like this, it stimulates the front wall of the vagina, which is very important. It goes like this. You have the downward angle. It stimulates the front wall of the vagina, right? What happens when we age? You lose this angle. This becomes flat, right? So when this becomes flat and looser, like this, now it's completely flat. Now when you have intercourse, you don't really hit the front wall of the vagina. And guess what? The front wall of the vagina is most sensitive wall of the vagina. It's where it has the 12,000 nerves from the clitoris. So you are not really touching the clitoris. So that's why I said it's all about the angle. In Vagil Angelo, we bring the angle back to what it was. We make it downwards again. So you have intercourse, even if your partner is tiny, this is small, and they are blind, when they enter, they are gonna rub against the front wall of the vagina because that's how God created us. This needs to go and rub against the front wall of the vagina. So you want to stimulate the bottom part of the clitoris. That's where the 12,000 nerves are. And that's why we created Vagil Angelo, because biomechanics is very important. As I said about it before, they don't teach us biomechanics of intercourse in medical school or anywhere else. I want one person to come tell me. They told me about biomechanics of intercourse. When I teach gynecologists, they're like, oh, we didn't know vaginal angle is like downwards or is like that. Because they didn't teach us. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to teach us. Why? Because nobody really goes to study them. Why? Because as long as the man ejaculates, and enjoys the intercourse, who cares about the woman? You know, and all this research is done by men. So hopefully we can change this whole thing. And that's why I created Vagil Angelo.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Taking into consideration,
did you like it? they really, I think they're having a lot of fun behind the scene. I want to thank iPharma for something. This is very, very important to me. You know, patients come to us from all over the world. I mean, I have patients from Dubai, Saudi, Germany, England, New York, California, anywhere. They come, they fly to us. Doesn't matter they have insurance, they don't have insurance, any of those things. I tell iPharma, I'm like, you know what? I have this kind of surgery, I'm doing this. And the first time they're like, oh, so what do you use for this surgery? What do you want? What's your protocol? So I gave them all the prescriptions I have. And this is more for doctors, I feel like. They made it so easy for me. I'm like, okay, information of the patient, I give them the phone number for the patient, and this is what the patient needs. They need care package number 1, they need care package number 2, or they need this kind of hormones, and they need this dosage. And they have all my profiles. And guess what happens? Doesn't matter where the patient comes from. I had a patient who came from England. We had somebody who just came from Saudi. What they do, they even WhatsApp with the patient. They WhatsApp back and forth with the patient. They knew what hotel the patient is going. So the night before surgery, they delivered it to the patient's hotel. And my patients told me, wow, how much do you pay for these things? I don't really pay for it. They're like, well, we didn't pay for it either. They said the price is this, and they didn't charge us extra for anything. So I really appreciate them because they are about patient care. And unfortunately, I see the difference because I have a lot of patients that are, oh, you know what, doc, you want to give me that hormone? I like a few different hormones that we use vaginally. And you wanted to give me that, just send it to my pharmacy. I'm like, what's your pharmacy? CVS. I'm like, listen, I don't have anything against CVS, but I don't think they're going to give it to you. Like, no, doc, I've been with them forever. I know the pharmacist. Sure. Okay, send it to CVS. 2 days after they called me, they said this is not covered. I'm like, well, I told you. It's probably they're going to say it's not covered because they don't even want to call the insurance company. Remember, I love CVS brand. I go in there, I buy, sometimes even I buy like, I don't know, what was the last time I went? I was in Miami actually. I got some, what do they call it? Oh, floaties. I got some floaties for my pool. You know, I buy everything from CVS, but when it comes to the pharmacist there, they work so much from morning to night, and they deal with like a lot of people coming in and out. It's not worth for the pharmacist to get on the phone, go back and forth for half an hour with your insurance, wait on hold until your insurance answers them, and then try to get an authorization from them. And then call the company and be, oh, you know what, let's get a 20% coupon for this patient. Why would they want to do that? They would sell 200 more prescriptions in the time that they were doing that. But at iPharma, what I saw is that they actually go that extra mile, extra step, and they don't care where the patient is coming from, if they have insurance, they don't have insurance. And they got the lowest. I mean, there is a prescription that I really love. There's a medicine that I use a lot, and that's probably even from the actual pharmaceutical. You want to get it, it's going to be $400 or $500. And they've been getting it for my patients for $120. When I told my friend at CVS, he's like, oh, no, that's impossible. It's probably a knockoff. No, it's not knockoff. You know, they go back and forth with the company. There are always coupon codes. There are different ways. But if you are a busy pharmacy and you are not about customer care, you're like, you know what, forget about it. Why do we want to do this? But they are about keeping the patients and keeping the patients happy. Now, this lady, patient of mine who came from England, she didn't know anything, like, oh, where she's gonna be, what hotel she's gonna be at. None of those stuff she knew. So they told her, just send us a WhatsApp message. This is actually the other England patient, the other one. Anyways, but send us a WhatsApp message whenever you get there. Tell us. They literally missed her because she needed to come to the office earlier to see me. So she's like, I'm not there. They're like, well, we're not going to leave it at the front desk for you because it has private information about you. When are you going to get back to the hotel? She's like, I don't know. I'm at the office. They're like, that's fine. The driver was out. They sent the driver to the office. So imagine all of this for, I think it was like a $30, $40 prescription. I'm like, the Uber would have costed more if you wanted to Uber that, but because they have a really nice guy who does that. He's actually behind the scene there too, so thank you.
You're working on a new vitamin formulation supplement. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and why you think, is this still in relations to pleasure, women's health, or is it overall good health for everybody?
So this is good health for everybody. I tell you about this. So, I deal with 50% of my practice is, of course, pleasure and women's health. The other 50% is endometriosis. That's what my research was from a long time ago at Stanford. And I love helping patients who have endometriosis and suffering from endometriosis. And what happens with these patients is that a lot of people told them, this is normal. You get cramps with your periods, it's normal. You have pain, is normal. You have pain with intercourse, is normal. You have pain with your period, is normal. So I'm like, no, it is not normal. And we have to remove this endometriosis. But a lot of it it roots in inflammation. And as you know, as a pharmacist, unfortunately, a lot of diseases are starting from inflammation. So the process is an inflammatory process. And it doesn't matter if we are talking about Alzheimer's disease or heart attack, all of them start from inflammation. Now, I wanted to come up with a supplement to kind of bring the Eastern medicine and Western medicine, all of it together, and decrease inflammation. I was giving this to my patients with I'm like, I have this much ginger, I have this much turmeric every day, I have this much vitamin D, I have this much lycopene, which I really like, bioperin to make sure the vitamin D, make sure the turmeric is getting absorbed, coenzyme Q10, all of these, magnesium for night. And I'm like, I'm giving them like 200 different pills. I'm like, what if we could bring all of these together? So during COVID, especially with all the infections and everything, I'm like, why don't we increase immune system at the same time? Because all of these actually increase the immune system, whether it's garlic, ginger, turmeric, vitamin C, zinc. I'm like, let's put all of these together in one supplement. So you take it once a day. I partnered up with a very big pharmaceutical, because most of these, when they make the vitamins, there are a lot of nutraceuticals. They put some powder in a capsule and they didn't really measure it. So I partnered up with a very big pharmaceutical called Capsium in Canada. And there are lots of rules and regulations in Canada. So they're like, we don't really do this. We don't do nutraceuticals. We only do pharmaceuticals. So I'm like, listen, let's work on this together. I'm going to make you guys partners. So we started working on it. And then they are very good in making soft gels. Now, as a pharmacist, the bioavailability becomes so much better when you have something as a soft gel. Yes. Liquid gel. Imagine the Advil that you take, the old school one, versus Advil, the liquid gel. It gets released so much easier. So we put all of these in hemp seed oil, in a soft gel, and everything is very, very potent. So we got from the best sources. It's made in a pharmaceutical, and we saw the dosages got too big. It would be a huge soft gel. So we cut it in two parts, the morning part and the night part, which is exactly the same thing, but the morning you have coenzyme Q10 to get you going and give you the energy, so you don't need to take the coffee and all of those. And the night one has magnesium to kind of give you a more relaxing, calming sleep. So we put these two together, and we have a day formulation, night formulation. You can get it for 1 month, but most people that been on it, they've gone on subscription and they're like, oh, you know what, we want to get it every single month because it helps them a lot. Yes. And if you allow me, I think they have the packaging. So it's OVO MD by Dr. Marashi. So we call it Elixir of Life in 2 soft gels. And I believe in that. So the things that it does for you. So when you get it, you get this package. This is the first time you're getting this. You open the package, and it is anti-inflammatory, immune booster, energy booster for the day, and a sleep enhancer for the night. It's formulated by me and a few other doctors. We have very smart doctors on the team for this. Naturopathic doctors, anesthesiologists. And then you take these 2 out. So you get 2 of these cylinders. And these cylinders, what you have in them, basically, you just have the 2 bottles, right? So this is your apothecary bottle that you have. So that is actually, hold on for a second. This, usually it doesn't have these. I put this is for photography. They made it, they actually stuck them to the wall. So they do a photo shoot with it. But they come empty. So this is, you can use these jars, or you can just not use them. A lot of people like them and they want to use them. So I wanted it to look different. I love old school medicine. So you put this on your shelf. You have your day one, you have your night one. And then also you open this bottom part, and here
Very nice.
you will have the filling. So every month you have basically a day one and a night one. And then depending on what kind of subscription you get, and you open this, you can fill it up completely. So the soft gels are in here. You can just, you are the pharmacist. I want you to smell them. So you see, you can smell the garlic, you can smell the turmeric. It's very, very potent. And if you guys can get me a knife, I want to show you something, a knife or a scissors or anything, and a piece of napkin or something. Yeah, we're gonna do this because I want to do a little bit of demonstration. Gotta show you what's inside, and this is very important. That's what I tell people. I'm like, whenever you want to take a supplement or anything I get, I'm like, I want to see how the inside of it looks like. You know, I have a really good friend who is a gastroenterologist, and he is telling me many times, even after they did all the enema and all those things, they do a colonoscopy or endoscopy, they find supplements that are stuck to the wall of bowel, especially with things that are, because remember, what do you do when these multivitamins, and I'm not talking about all of them, some multivitamins, to put all those vitamins together, what do you have to do? You have to do 2 things. First of all, you have to heat them up and you have to compress them. You make it so compact, this becomes like a little brick. And what happens with this brick? So many times it doesn't even open up. So you can't even use it in your body. So guess what we are doing? We wanted to completely change this. And the way we changed it, I'm like, this needs to be a soft gel, right? Because soft gel, like liquid gel, like Advil, the liquid gel, it's much more absorbable. As soon as you break this, which is very easy, as soon as it hits your stomach acid, it completely disintegrates the wall. You get to the inside of it, and the inside is already in an oil and ready to get absorbed. Now, let's dissect one of these together. Ready?
Yes.
Should I do it?
Do it.
Okay, perfect. I'm the surgeon, I guess.
Not quite the same, right, as a scalpel, but.
I know. Well, it looks cool. I love the purple. So let's cut a couple of these. I'm going to cut it 2 different ways. And you know what? Whenever you get something, make sure you cut it. Look inside it. You know, when I was a kid, I used to open all the radios and everything because I want to know what's happening inside. So let's cut one this way. Okay. Let's cut one the other way. Okay. And I wanted to kind of squish it like this. So look. First of all, do me a favor. So look at this paste that you have in here. It has lycopene, which makes it red. It has turmeric. It has ginger. It has garlic. Smell the garlic, smell turmeric. It's like
the minute you actually
very strong. You can smell like a very strong, maybe not tomato soup, but I mean lycopene is the red that's inside tomato. So I always like that color and that smell. But it's in pharmaceutical level of that. And then the garlic and everything. But look at this. This is completely getting absorbed. And what's really good about turmeric, by the way? Why in people who use curry and turmeric, you have less GI, which is gastrointestinal cancers? Because it's anti-inflammatory. The nations who take more curry, they get that anti-inflammation inside all the time. And because these things are very potent and they stain, they stain. If you put turmeric in your hand, it's a stain. So you know it's a real turmeric when you see the stain. This, you can't get it off of your hand. And that's what you want. You want it to be the real thing. Now, there are turmeric pills out there, which it makes me cringe when I see. I'm like, oh, okay, so they put some turmeric powder, and it doesn't even get absorbed. Because guess what? For turmeric to get absorbed, you either have to cook it in oil or need to add a lot of pepper to it, not just a little pepper. Everybody, even in the background here, they can smell this. Yes. I can hear the whiff. So that's the thing. And so that is very important. What do you have inside these? It has to be potent for it to work. And I stand behind it. This is the same thing that I take, my family takes. This is like taking 5 ginger shots with a lot of other additives with the vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, coenzyme Q10, lycopene, things that you don't have in your ginger shot. Now, if you can take each of these separately, please go ahead and do. That's what I was doing during COVID for myself. And that's why we never got COVID during COVID. What I was doing, I was taking my ginger shot, making it myself, do the turmeric, do the bioperine, do the garlic, get the lycopene, get zinc, all of these. But you want to consistently take these to keep the inflammation at bay. You want to keep inflammation low in your body so you don't end up with early heart attacks, yes, Alzheimer's disease, and all diseases. And that's why nutrition and what you put inside your body is very important. In many cultures, this comes through food. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have a lot of processed food. And we can't take the whole thing through food. That's why we created OvoMD. And one other thing. People ask me all the time, Doc, why do we need vitamins? You don't need vitamin. Why do you need vitamin D? You get it from the sun. Why do we need zinc? Why do we need this? We get it through the fruits, this, that. Vitamin C, you don't get it through fruits. You will get it through fruits. I'm not telling you not to have fruits and vegetables. But read about this. Google this. The difference of an orange or an apple today with an orange or apple 50 years ago. Yes. How much depleted it is comparing to 50 years ago in vitamins and minerals. Why is that? Because we depleted the soil. We planted so much, we literally drained the soil without replenishing it. Yes. And that's why, it's good to supplement. Don't let people tell you, oh, you can do everything through the food. Food is very important, but you need to supplement, and you need to use the right supplement. So get on board with OvoMD. There are different promotions going on all the time. This is something that I take, my family takes, all my friends take, and my patients love it. I mean, I have patients with endometriosis. We did surgery on them, but they're like, what? I get a lot less pain. We had patients with arthritis. Mm-hmm. My father, specifically, he's like, what? He's an orthopedic surgeon. So he doesn't really believe too much in alternative medicine, but he's like, what? My knee pain is so much better. My back pain is almost gone since I'm taking this. Mm-hmm. So this is something that my friend and family takes, and I think you should take it too. Okay.
I think it's
Do you like it?
I do. Like I said, the minute you cut into it, I could already smell
know,
it.
it's-
Very potent. Very potent, everyone.
And
We
look,
can all smell it here.
I don't want to
on
do
set.
this to myself, but look at this. Now this is not going to go away, but
No, you're going to have it stained on your finger for a while. Real turmeric there.
oh, it tastes good too. No, you got to put it in your mouth. I mean, if I'm telling you to take it, it's just, this is actually very good.
Very strong.
Oh, wow. You know, you can use it as seasoning in the food too, I think. Instead of putting all the garlic and everything, just chop too some. It's going to be too expensive of a seasoning, but I'm sure it's good for you.
All the ingredients you listed, like the zinc, the turmeric, the garlic, all those are actually very good antioxidants for the body. So, you know, it's no wonder that it's helping with the immune booster here, along with the anti-inflammatory, you know. And I see for the daytime, you say anti-inflammatory, immune booster, energy booster, mental performance booster.
And look at the ingredients. So it's not, I didn't put the ginger itself, I didn't put the actual, so these are, people ask, is this organic or not? Is the ginger, because it's really important for ginger to be organic, by the way. If you do ginger shots, you gotta make sure it's organic, right? Because ginger is a root. So it collects everything, all the pesticides, everything comes in it. This is not only this is organic, it's something one level better than organic, you know? This is pharmaceutical grade. So it's not just ginger. It's the extract of ginger that doesn't have anything, nothing, no pesticides, nothing,
Yes.
because it's used in pharmacy. So it's the purest form. So if you want to read the ingredients,
Yes.
she's the pharmacist, you should.
166 milligram ginger oil, 30 milligram odorless garlic oil.
They call
They
it
say that,
odorless,
but
but you
yes,
can
I can
smell it's
smell
still the
it.
garlic. Yeah.
Vitamin C, you're having your ascorbic acid here, ginger root powder, lycopene, zinc, coenzyme Q10, vitamin D, and pepperin. Pepperin, yes.
And this is for the day formulation. For night, you have the magnesium as well. So
I can read all these ingredients, and any individual, any layman individual can read these ingredients. If you look at your vitamin supplements now, the first thing on your list after the vitamins are a whole bunch of preservatives, a whole bunch of food coloring, a whole bunch of artificial flavoring, especially the gummy ones. Watch out, parents, when you're actually giving this to your kids. You think you're giving them a good thing. But if you can't read or understand 50% of the ingredients, and you wonder why the gummies on your shelves for your kids are still in the same intact form 2 years later, like, oh wow, even after expiration date, this is the reason why. And I'm not saying this to say that all preservatives out there are going to do you harm, but the fact that this is very pure, these are all ingredients that can be easily pronounced: hemp seed oil, yellow beeswax, gelatin, glycerin, purified water, sunflower, you know, titanium dioxide, caramel color 605, but that's the only coloring is for the shell, not obviously for the ingredients inside that are naturally red or pigmented by the turmeric. Edible black ink, and the fact that this Canadian company is mentioning the edible black ink on the shell means how responsible and how diligent they take their products. And for you to have partnered with such a reputable company, and for me as a pharmacist, I can understand all those other techno terms, but can a layman person do it? This means a lot. This really does mean a lot. So this is quality product here, and I'm really glad that you gave us the opportunity to see it, to smell it, and to really know that it's a trustworthy product to try and take. Thank you.
it's sure, and this is something that if, I mean, of course, if you are in Houston and area around here, iPharma takes care of it. So if you need it, you can always order it through iPharma, and I'm sure they get it to you next day, if not the day before. Because before I send them the text, the patient already has their medicine. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. So really, is there anything else you would like to say? Any final words to our audience? What should they take away today?
You know what? I think it's the era of social media, information. So I think we need to always, this is for the audience, educate yourself.
Yes.
Listen to different people, listen to different podcasts, get more and more information, because there's a lot of information out there, and make educated decisions for yourself and your family. Lots of things are changing.
Yes.
You know, there are a lot of scams out there. There are a lot of non-original things out there. So you got to educate yourself, and that's what I take a lot of pride in. And that's what I tell my patients, I tell my friends. They're like, oh, why you got into entrepreneurship? Why are you creating a pill? And why are you making the sex tools? And why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm like, it's not really about creating them. There's another company who's creating them. I work with them. I work with that company. It's about doing the research for the people, because nobody else does the research for you. And maybe you don't have the time to go read about all of these things. But I do the research, because when I do surgeries, I do the same thing. I don't deal like, when you go to your doctor, they may tell you, oh, you know, you have option A, you can do this and this and that and that. The way I got trained back home, then the patients came to my dad. If my dad told them you have option A, B, C, D, which is really important, you got to give the options to the patient. The patients would ask him, what would you do for your own mother? Yes. What would you do for yourself, doc? If you had this cancer, what would you do for yourself? Would you go remove your whole leg? Would you just be like, let me not be in pain? If you had this problem, what would you do for yourself or for your sister or for your mother? And I think that's a really good way to do it. Unfortunately, we're getting too many options out there, and people make the wrong choices because sometimes they just go by the color of something or how much money is behind it for advertising. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm a physician. I don't have $10 million. A company told me, they came to us for this. They're like, oh, we really love this. An advertising company. They came to us, we really love this. Let us partner with you. We take 51% of your company, right? Listen to this.
That's ownership.
51% of your company.
Ownership.
You pay, and we still have to pay. You pay $5 million. We pay another $5 million. I mean, they are advertising, so I think they do it themselves. And I don't have $5 million. And they're like, listen, this is such a good supplement. We're gonna make it bigger than everything that's out there. You see AG1 doc out there? How much noise they made? I'm like, yeah, I've seen them. They're like, we're gonna put advertising on this because you are the doctor who made this. You are behind this. We're gonna make it 10 times bigger than that. I'm like, sorry guys, but I don't have $5 million. I don't want to give 51% of the company. And I mean, I don't even have time to deal with these things. But the reason I did this is not to just come and put a powder in a packet and be like, oh, take this. This is the best thing for you because I'm the doctor. No. I did research. I went back and forth. I was in Capsium. There are videos of it. For days, we were going with the best pharmacist. We actually, even the capsule that you see around this, we did so many testing in different, because you know how we do it, in different levels of acidity. For some people who have like less acidity and everything, to see how long does it take for this to disintegrate. It basically degrades and becomes like, so is it gonna open in your bowel or is it gonna open in your stomach? These are things that most of these places, I tell you how they make the vitamin. And this is not against, I'm not naming any names. They go order the shells from somewhere, and doesn't matter what kind of shell it is, just fill it up. Doesn't matter how many milligrams. One of them may have like 100 milligram, one has like 120 milligram. Sell it on Amazon, huge profit margin. You know, so it's very important for me is do the research. And because you can't do the research, everything I do is to do the research for you. And that's the way I like it, because I feel the real medicine is about changing people's lives. And if, you know, I wrote this in the beginning of every single book I had in medical school. We used to read books. There weren't too many computers around back then, so I had to read actual textbooks and read a lot of those. In the beginning of every single book I had, I remember I wrote this paragraph. I translated because it was in Farsi. I translated in English. I said, if all these nights we used to be up every night studying, going cadaver lab, an anatomy lab, all of these. I'm like, if all these nights of studying, not sleeping, going through the pain of the exams, all these drives that I have to do for different rotations, all of this together, help me one day do something for one patient that for even 1 minute tells me, you know what, you're diminished and you lessened my pain, and tells me thank you, that paid back for the entire 15, 16 years of studying. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing this. You know, I wanted to follow my father because the way he works, to this day, everybody comes to our door if they have a problem. Everybody has his cell phone number, his phone number. If they need him in the middle of the night, they go to him. That's the way I want it to be. Unfortunately, right now, it's too difficult to live in a village and have people come to your door. And there's a lot more reach. So instead of reaching 500 patients, I can reach thousands of people through the power of these podcasts, social media.
Yes.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much.
It's becoming a little emotional. Thank you.
Quite a journey. Thank you for taking us through that from the very beginning to now where you are. You know, we're really looking forward to what else you have down the road. Keep us posted.
Of course.
And we would love to invite you back for future podcasts with us. You know, tell us down the road what else you have cooking up.
Of course.
And we're just very thrilled to have you here. So thank you again
so much
for taking the time to be here today. And you know, everyone, if you want to learn more about Dr. Marashi, his services, and the things that he do for his patients, we will be posting it up in the frame after this to let you know exactly how you can learn more through all his social media postings and where you can get information not just on Oval, but everything else that he does. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Thank you.